Hi everyone. I'm just gonna give it a few minutes just to see if who is actually joins us live. And once everybody, when I see people coming on, then I'm going to get into it. I just thought I would just let everybody know that from next week I'm going to be doing a live a day for 14 days on a Monday, starting Monday next week at 7 p.m. And what I'm going to try and cover in these lives is all the questions I get asked on a daily basis about apprenticeships, and also building teams. Because as I know, I don't know who that is. Whoever that is who's just popped on, let me know in the comments. I think you have to, with StreamYard, you have to click on the link and then say who you are so I can see who you are. So I'm just going to go through basically, like I said, I'm going to be doing these lives as from next week, from Monday, for at 7 p.m. I thought that would be a really good time because that's when most people can jump on and then you can ask me questions. But today, what I'm going to be covering today is six skills and traits I look for in an apprentice for them to actually want to succeed. And the reason that I decided to do this live today is because I think we've all been, if you're a salon owner, have had difficulty finding people, the right apprentice who actually is engaged and really wants to do the qualification. So for me, the first thing is I'm always looking for someone who's got passion for the industry. So if they're doing a hair apprenticeship or a beauty apprenticeship, I'm looking for somebody who loves hair and beauty. And I think it's very difficult when we do apprenticeships to firstly know who that is. And that's why I use the traineeship program first, because I do believe a traineeship, if people don't know what a traineeship is, but it's basically a 17 week, ours is 17 weeks, but they can be shorter, and they're delivered all over the country. So there's lots and lots of colleges and other training providers that will do traineeships. We're in Kent, so we're able to do most places in Kent, okay, but anything out of Kent we haven't got funding for. But I do know, and if you want to have information about it, other places that will be able to do that. Now, a traineeship is just work experience, so they come into your salon for two or 3 days a week, and basically in that time you'll be able to get a gist of if that person has passion for the industry. So that's like what I call my test period, just to see if it's somebody that really really loves the industry. So I've always used that in all my salons when I started, okay. And it's just really because like we all know in our industry, they need to realize that it might look glamorous, but it isn't always, and so they have to see all those elements. And the only way I feel that they can do that, or if you haven't got access to a traineeship or you don't want to go down that route, before you put them on the full apprenticeship, maybe do like a probationary period, 6 to 8 weeks, just to make sure that this is what they want to do and they want to carry on with it. Okay, so first trait is somebody who's got passion. The next one is determination. So, I mean, it's a real trait that you need to be looking for. Someone that it doesn't matter what happens to them, they just are persistent, that they are determined to make this work. Okay, they when they're under pressure in the salon, or when they come into you, they'll always find ways around things. So if you're somebody watching this and you're actually an apprentice and want to do an apprenticeship, that's what salon owners are looking for. Someone that's determined to make this work, even when they get things wrong, that they just don't give up, that they just keep on doing it over and over again. Because I think anything in our industry is just learning how to do it and then doing it over and over again until you get good at it. And that's the type of trait I'm looking for with an apprentice. So if it's somebody that easily gives up at the first hurdle, they're probably not somebody that I would want to take on to an apprenticeship, because they're probably going to drop out, because an apprenticeship's normally anything from, well, it's a minimum of 12 months and can be anything up to 2 years. So it's really important that that person's going to stick at it no matter what. So that's one of the traits I'm looking for. And that is like resilience. So resilience is really important. That takes me on to the third trait, which is resilience. It's really easy, I think, and people always think that if they don't do something and they give up, that's it. But resilience is about, doesn't matter how long or what you do, you just keep on going. And that is something that I find, I think we don't want, we want like, we're not good at delayed gratification anymore. And, anything in life is about, getting an outcome at the end of it. So for me, I mean, in business, I mean, I've had my business since 2001, and if I'd given up at the first hurdle, I probably would have been given up within 3 months. I mean, when I started my very first salon, the girl that worked for me, or rather was self-employed within my salon, and that's why I use apprenticeships, by the way, walked out with all my clientele. And if I had given up, that would have been like my whole business gone. The second thing is when I very first started, I wasn't particularly good, and my very first thing that I trained in was nails. I wasn't that good at nails. And being really honest with you, I was rubbish. But what I was very good with is when somebody didn't come back, picking up the phone and chatting to them and say, could I come in and I'll do it for free, just to and then I'll build up a relationship with them. And the other thing I would do is do a lot of nail art for free on their nails so that they would show their friends. But I was really persistent, and no matter what happened, I just kept getting back up. And that's been the whole of my business. Okay. I've always, no matter what happens, I always get back up and carry on. I might have a little bit of a pity party, which I think we're all guilty of every now and again, but not for long. I think, right, okay, what have I learned from this? What do I need to do next? So that's what I'm looking for in any apprentice or anybody that I'm putting on any type of training with me. Are they going to give up at the first hurdle, or are they going to keep on going? So something like resilience is something that's really important to me. Communication, another one that I think as an apprentice you need to be able to communicate. So you need to be able to talk. Now, we, again, going back to our traineeship, we train that in our traineeship, so it's employability skills. But you need to be able to talk to somebody, and you need to be able to be somebody that if you don't get something right, that you can actually ask them, or you feel confident enough to say to the person that's training you, I don't really understand this, can you go over it? And also being able to communicate with other members of staff within the team, to be able to communicate with clients. So I'm looking for somebody, and one of the things I learned this from another salon owner, this is what she does. When she has them in for interview, she gets asked them on the first day that they're like just trying. So she'll have them in for an interview, then they come in for their first day, and she gets them to ask everybody in the salon that walks through. She said, right, what I want you to do is ask every client that comes through the door today if they've got a pet, and find that information out, and then give that to me at the end of the day. And that way it gets the young person, if they're a brand new apprentice coming in, to be able to do that, gives them the confidence to have a structured thing that they're actually going to ask. Okay, and then she'll then at the end of that day, she'll visit that to see if they've got that information. And if they've been able to communicate that and get that information, that means they're going to be quite good at speaking to people. Willingness to learn. Again, I think we're all very guilty of this sometimes. We think we know it all. And I'll give you an example of that. I mean, last week I went to, I was on a development, a self-awareness program. How can I describe it? Basically about myself. And what I realized, I mean, I've always thought I've always been really good, somebody that's always looking to improve myself. So there wasn't an element of, I know all of this, I don't need someone to teach me. Okay. And when you're like that, then you're closed-minded, and that's very difficult to teach. So if somebody tells you something and you think, I know it all already, okay, that's very difficult then to develop them as somebody. So it's really important that when I'm looking for somebody, I'm looking for somebody that has willingness to learn, who really wants to get on, who will ask lots of questions. I'd rather have someone ask lots of questions and admit to them not being able to do something. So that to me, I don't see as a weakness. I think is a real strength. So when they're really frustrated with doing something and they can't do it, and they say, I really don't know what you're talking about, I really need you to show me this. That to me is a willingness to learn. And when somebody's willing to learn, then you can teach them anything, because basically it's just a skill that they need to learn, and you're going to teach them. But if there's somebody that is very closed off, that just says, oh, well, I know that, I did that at college, or I did that, where I was before, I learned that. Okay, I saw it on YouTube, I know how to do that. They're not somebody that I would really want to develop as an apprentice, because for me, they're a very closed-minded person, and that's going to be difficult in long term. So I'm always looking for somebody that really wants to learn, who has a passion for learning and wants to learn more about it. Okay. Somebody as well, this is something that I think a lot of people overlook sometimes. I want somebody who is going to actually be good at when they're willing to learn, as is they want to get it really right. They want to make sure that they do it really, really well, so they'll do it over and over again till it's perfect. That's the type of person I'm looking for as well. Someone that will go, right, okay, I've done it now, I know how to do it now, I need to do this really, really well. So they'll go above and beyond the standard to, and that's one of our values, to get it right and to do it really, really well. That's something as well I'm looking. A willing to learn, ability to work without me being with them all the time. So somebody that will, if they see a client walk through the door, or they see somebody rings up, once they've got a bit of confidence that they're happy to pick up the phone, or if they see the towels laying on the side, that they're going to pick up those towels and put them away. So again, I very much test this on the traineeship. So if I have no problem with people not having the skills, as in the sector skills, but I'm looking for somebody that is actually, well, I need to take initiative. I need to actually this marketing that I'm seeing the salons doing. Can I put some input into that? Can I make a suggestion to make that better? That's the type of person I'm looking for, and that isn't a bad thing to have. I mean, very much so when you're speaking with lots of people. Sometimes as a business owner, you can get very much, well, this is the right way and this is how I want it to be done. But somebody that can come in brand new and bring some suggestions at how we could do something better, I love that. And if I see a young person that will, as the door, somebody walks through the door, that they'll take their coat without me having to ask them, or they will, I don't know, give them a card when they're leaving with all our information on, or a price list. That's another thing. And again, you can test this by doing like a trial period before they come in. Okay, so they're my main things that I'm looking for when I'm employing anybody, and especially an apprentice. Somebody that has got passion, determination, resilience, communication, willingness to learn, and the ability to work on their own. That's just some of the skills that I would be looking for when I'm taking one. So I hope this live has been great for you today. I hope you might have got these things in place. So if you're a salon owner and you're looking to place an advert on social media, they're the type of things I would be looking for, and they would be the things I would be testing before I offered them anything. And also asking them about their past history, why they want to be a salon, why they want to be an apprentice. And especially in our sector, I think sometimes people get very scared that if they take an apprentice, they're going to start with us and then they're going to go off and have their own business. I think if you stop worrying about that and know that eventually that probably is going to be the outcome, but for the 4 or 5 years that they're with you, they're going to bring you in a clientele and build up a clientele within their business and make your salon money. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So if somebody's got big goals and they want to achieve something long term, get into media, I would be trying to find that right from the beginning, and that's how I'd be structuring. And that to me would mean that they've got a real interest in the salon industry or the spa industry or whatever, whichever part of the sector that you're coming from. So yeah. So thanks for joining me today. I hope that you found that helpful, and I'll be on, like I said, from Monday next week. I'm going to be doing a live every single day all around apprenticeships and all the different types of apprenticeships that you can use, and all the different things. And I'll also be having some salon owners in I'll be interviewing that have used the apprenticeship scheme. So they'll be from 7 p.m. next week for 10 days completely, because I just want to get the message out to everybody. So if you want to join me, that'd be great. If not, I will put them in the group so that you can watch them later. So thank you, everybody.